Seems like it's been a while since we've played Georgia. Georgia, last time we played them, was coming off having beaten Memphis at Memphis, which was a great win for them, and then having lost at home to Kentucky after being up about a dozen at halftime. So Georgia came in here playing well. We played well in that game. That was an important game for us, not only because a series against Georgia matters, because they're a talented, well-coached team, and it was early in the SEC season, and nobody really had anything figured out about who the good teams were and who the teams that were going to struggle were. And early in conference season, those games are difficult because there's pecking order hasn't really been established yet. We did a really good job overall on Anthony Edwards. I mean, he was a huge focus for us as far as the scout was concerned. But I think what makes Georgia such a dangerous team is that they got lots of different pieces. They've become one of the better offensive rebounding teams in our league. Defensively, they're third in the league in steals. They're fourth in the league in scoring, so they do score. They play better at home. I don't know what the stat is in 12 SEC games, but I bet you in 10 of them, they've had leads. I think the only game I can think of from a scouting standpoint was at home against South Carolina. Other than that, they've been right there. And so obviously it's a dangerous opponent. The math doesn't help us because while they still would be a quadrant 2 opponent, they're about 100 in the net, and kind of like Missouri. Yes, tough place to play, hard to win on the road, but if we're going to be in this conference championship race, we have to win the game. Strong statement with 7 games left, but I've always kind of kept it real with my team. LSU will play Kentucky tonight, and Kentucky's either going to come out of that game with a 1-game lead on the field, or we're back to being tied. We've got to go to Lexington, and that's going to be a real challenge. So I look at it this way: the Georgia win is a must-win if we're going to stay in this conference championship race.
Any update on Isaac's availability?
Isaac did not practice. He did not practice with us yesterday. Our anticipation is that he will travel. I don't know what his status will be for the game yet.
How different would playing Anthony Edwards be without Isaac?
Well, Isaac is he's one of the best players in all of college basketball, and we talked about where we'd miss Isaac, and Missouri scored 85 points, a team that averages 66 points or 85 points. So it's pretty obvious where we missed him, not only for his individual coverage of his own player, but his ability to rebound, take charges, get vertical. He's a great player. It just affects play. Chuma and Isaac have a lot in common. They cleaned up a lot of things for us defensively, and so it'll be tough without him if he can't play.
In the first game, your bench played really well against Georgia. Is it going to be a big deal again in Athens?
The bench was. It's probably a little easier for the bench to play well at home, would be my guess, just because the bench is young. We've got 3 first-year players, and Anthony's been coming off the bench sort of as our 6th man. So that'd be challenging, and obviously we've got to have sort of that next man up mentality. Austin Wiley's playing really, really, really well right now, playing the best basketball of his career. His mobility, his ability to score around the basket, his ability to get fouled. He's playing. He doesn't get a lot of talk in our league compared to, whether it be Perry at Mississippi State or the big kid at Kentucky, Richards, big kid at Texas A&M. I mean, there's a lot of good post players in our league. Actually, the league has. Austin doesn't get talked about a lot, but I mean, he's just been on a double-double tear, And we're doing a little better job of finding them. Problem is, there's just so much contact down there, and a lot of times that stuff doesn't get called on the road, and so it's not always the highest percentage. But we definitely are playing through him more than we did earlier in the year, and I think that's a positive thing.
Bruce, I think 5 straight teams have shot better than 37% from deep against you guys. What's been the issue there, and is that something you guys can fix going forward?
Yeah, I think it's a great point, and I think that defensively, if you've got guys that can press up on the ball a little bit and put a little pressure on the basketball, it makes the opponent trying to run their offense more difficult. It actually creates more turnovers. The challenge then would be, and so therefore we defend a 3 better. The challenge then would be, can they go by you? And that's been our challenge for several of our players. Can you guard your yard? Can you stay in front of your guy? And some of our guys are challenged to stay in front of it. So sometimes they'll back up a little bit, not put as much pressure on the basketball, not be as disruptive, give up the open 3 ball. And so there's got to be a balance there. And I would say the imbalance is we just haven't been pressed up on the ball enough.
Is that different from earlier in the season when you guys were?
I think we were doing a better job getting after it. I thought we were doing a better job flying around. I do.
I know you talked about this before, but is this a week, if Okoro can't go, that you may give a Jalen Williams or stretchers?
I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, look, the issue there is to go with a little bit more Jalen Williams or stretches to go with Les Anthony and Danjel. Those are 2 seniors that have been in this program for a long time. And neither one played well against Missouri. That's just a fact. And they both playing Isaac's position at the power forward spot. And so I've got great confidence in Stretch and Jalen, cornerstones of the future of our program. They're ready, but those guys, Anthony and Danjel, or some of the upperclassmen have been loyal to us, and I'm going to stay loyal to them.
What, if any, adjustments were you focused on making from Missouri heading into Georgia?
Well, I would think most of the adjustments would have to be on the defensive end, just because of the way Missouri scored. And so as we talked about, how can we be a little bit more disruptive? How can we, extend a little bit more and still be able to guard the lane? And so that's the stuff that we'd be working on. I think the other thing too is with Georgia, they're 3rd in the league in offensive rebounding. They get about 1/3 of their misses. And so we've been a good rebounding team. We need to continue to do a good job of dominating the glass and not giving them second chance points.
What'd you make of your reality TV debut last night?
So you won the bet for who was going to be the first person ask the question. Was that Can that you were going to be the first one, or no? It just worked out that way. I guess it's a very popular show, and a lot of people watch it. I just was really proud of Madison and Chad and Tanya and the Pruitt family for being Auburn men and women, for representing a Christian home with great faith. It's not talk, it's walk, it's lived. And I give the people at ABC credit for not rewriting that story. That's who they are. And it may not be as flashy as some of the others, certainly not as much drama, but much more real. So, yeah, I mean, my daughters, Jackie and Leah, think that I finally made it now. I got my 5-minute cameo on The Bachelor. So my daughters are proud of me, then awesome.
Everybody good?